Hopefully this is working, so...
Sometimes I wish I was back in university. Of course, it exploded and then fell out of orbit. So I guess this is safe by comparison?
So this is Zam 4 in Warpex. Let me check my settings here. That's the nice resolution I want for good quality in the headsets. Unfortunately, there is some serious performance issues with this one, so... So, no idea what's going on with the performance. Don't know if I can get this running smooth. So it's 90 frames here, everything looks fine, and then you move a little and the frames drops, and this is on low. Which is sad because it looks really nice, it works really fine here. But the frames are not good. I probably have to... Probably need to turn this one down. Yeah, this doesn't seem to be sticking. Probably need this to be maybe 1440p maybe. Back. No, okay. Right, this is the one. Yeah, that might work. Gonna turn this one down. Like, this game is unfortunately not known to be super well optimized, so still it's dropping frames a little bit, pretty smooth. Probably need to run this maybe at even 1080p resolution here.
My son, there are people up there. They need our help.
And I was thinking I'm gonna play a little bit and I'm gonna just discuss what my experience with Warpix has been. The overall journey. But maybe if you...
We must continue. I have faith that the Lord
come
will
on.
protect them.
They talk so much in games these days. But if you just want a quick summarize, if you're asking yourself, should I get Warpex? To be quite honest with you, the answer most likely is no. And if you want more information about, you know, why? Who shot at me? Feel free to, you know, watch the video. Oh my god, this is so bad. The quality, the pop and everything. But stay till I play this a little bit and then
Since
I
you
will
have
tell
a
why.
shotgun, can you shoot and I'll pray?
As you wish. Oh, benvenuto! Welcome to Rome, friend! How do you like it? Love the food. Hate the traffic. Traffic? Well, my convoy got blown up.
Still better than before the war.
Your neighbors are noisy. Yes, but the view is wonderful.
brings you to Rome?
Oh, the usual. Saving the planet.
You should talk to Massimo. This is also his hobby.
There we have performance drops. And it's very difficult to aim with your head. Obviously you will be get better the more you try, but really this is on an easy difficulty, so
Now that's what I call raising the roof.
Thank you, my friend.
let's skip this one. There we go. So yeah, the biggest problem, you know, with this game is that the enemies compared to like BioShock Infinite and the Doom is that the enemies and most of the, you know, flying, attacking mechanical ships and stuff like that, they are very small, so it makes aiming more difficult, and using head movement is definitely, I would say that like the Xbox 360 with the dual stick, in my opinion, is the shittiest to aim. Then we have head movement, then there's a huge leap, you know, till like Steam controller, and then just above Steam controllers is mouse and keyboard. So this game, I like, even if I were to get the performance to be alright, and it is definitely interesting, it adds to the game. I think it's a shame they didn't like Doom, like CSM 3, give it full VR support, because that is much better, and aiming with with, you know, VR controllers are somewhere around maybe below the Steam controller in accuracy, so it's really nice and really good. But yeah, the problem with this game is performance. It's quite taxing to get it going good. It's a very modern game, so it's very impressive that you at least could run it like this, but you pretty much need to drop it to low and 1080p rendering resolution, and it doesn't really look as good, like compared to BioShock Infinite that I'm running at, you know, a higher. It's kind of like a higher resolution, and this is a lower 1440p resolution here. This looks not as like nice and soft as that does, but it is playable. And if you are good and comfortable with aiming with your head movement, then definitely, you know, you can be, but it's so hard to like try to track enemies, and this has a lot of enemies, a lot of waves of enemies coming. So this I could not play. You know, the enemies are bigger, and like your projectiles seems bigger in Doom, so that is doable. But I don't think I prefer more accuracy in that game.
I hope you were successful, my son. You win some, you lose some. Can't tell which one this was.
But BioShock Infinite is really, really great. Unfortunately, I can't get Geometry 3D to run, so let's skip to, you know, the pros and cons and a little bit of Warpex. There's not a lot more to say about this game. That is very taxing. You need a very high-end computer. Pretty much anything on low, and like a 1440p resolution going in here. And you know, Ryzen 5600X. It's overclocked. All cores run at around 4.6 GHz. 32 gigs of system memory. And an RTX 2080, and no Geometry 3D support in this game. And it is just barely able to run it, and when there's gonna be a shit ton of enemies, you're probably gonna get some stuttering and stuff. And this isn't an official supporter, but there are a profile for it, and you know, as I said before, when you don't have the memory scan, getting the game running is more stable. You know, once you have imported a profile for CSM4 from the online you know, library, it just runs and goes and works fine. You just tweak it, you know, go through the settings, warping settings like the zoom amount, and pretty much that's it. Then you can just change settings game to your liking. Much very easy compared to the Alt-L but direct memory scan. But direct memory scan, you get more proper FOV, and you get, for good and bad, that it can change game settings. But like the head movement is awesome. There's a no nauseating feeling. And I'm using, let me quickly check, full VR mode, no 3D reconstructions. But yeah, it's like, it's really nice, the head movement here, like so smooth, so great. When you get this running, like, it's not bad, and it's just that the enemies are very small, they are very fast, and are a huge amount, so aiming, and I feel I don't have the precision I need with head movement. But it feels really like, looking around here, feels like it tracks really nice to my like natural, what I would feel like. If I look, yeah, that is 90 degrees. That is 90 degrees, you know. It really feels like it's not anything wrong with like the Warpex stuff here. It's just that you would have liked Geometry 3D, but if I can't run Geometry 3D in Bioshock Infinite, like an old game, like still looks beautiful and everything, but you know, there's no way it's gonna happen in this game, unfortunately. But you know, if you get practice, if you think you can aim with head movement, the Warpex experience here is actually pretty damn good. I give it that. But let's go to discussing the pros and cons of the Warpex. So as I said before, if you're asking yourself, should I get
Sir,
Warpex?
it's an organ hemophile.
No.
It's a fucking vampire, Kenny. Power bloodsuckers.
So yeah, no, you should not get Warpex. If you're asking yourself that question, you don't really ask yourself that question. You know, you're like, yeah, I think I want Warpex. Then yeah.
So long, suckers.
Yeah. Alright, there's a lot of enemies here apparently.
Ashes to ashes.
But as you can see, they are very small, and that makes it very challenging to like with the head to hit them,
And pass the ammunition.
unfortunately. Alright. So why do I say you shouldn't get Warpex? Well, one of the things is it's so far from being easy to set up that it probably, unless you really know that you want Warpex, and you probably then know that you need to tweak a lot of things to get it going. That's why I'm saying that you mostly not want it. Also, you will not get the true VR experience. It's like, if you can get Geometry 3D running, that seems to me quite impossible, at least with the Reverb G2 at a good quality. at least what I feel is good quality. It's just not possible to get that going, unfortunately, and it still is not really 3D. And the problem also is that, you know, if you're gonna play first-person shooters or first-person games that I feel is the best in VR and, you know, stuff like that, you have this head aiming, and it is just so, compared to VR controllers, like, it doesn't matter what controller, like even the old Windows Mixed Reality controllers that are bad, they are, in my opinion, miles better at aiming than with the head movement. So if you look at game list and, you know, you see that you play games like BioShock Infinite that aren't super fast, then head movement, you know, can work, and also the enemies are reasonably large, so it's fairly easy also to hit them, then yes, you know, it can get kind of like work, but it's so tricky, and they are so buggy, and there are so many steps to it, and what you get is like 50% of the VR experience if you can get Geometry 3D running, and for a price that is like around $40. It's insane. Price is so too much high for it. And let's go into, you know, more of, you know, the bad things. There are like the way the piracy things, that you know, Warpex locks itself to your computer, so when you swap out hardware parts, your computer, you need to like unlock it and then request new keys and yada yada, and it's like, come on, for a software like this, give us like a serial simple or like a registration, lock it towards your, you know, email or like an account, something, not hardware lock into your hardware. It's the worst form of like anti-piracy measurement. It's so stupid. I've encountered that in other situations when, you know, for some reason, like even sometimes change the BIOS can trigger a hardware configuration change, and, you know, and suddenly you're locked out and you have to go through a lot of tinkering to like get it back registered, and it just, that is so bad and bullshit. And for software like this, come on, remove that. That is one of the more negative things about Warpex. It's an impressive piece of technology, but that really is such a bullshit approach. And like when you register it, you need to wait for like an email. You need to use this like hardware configuration that kind of like looks at your hardware, and you need to request a hardware key, and like, come on, dude, seriously. It's not like you're a top software being like hunted down for piracy, and no demo, no trial to test this out, and you can't refund it. I would have so quickly refunded this. And like, it's so demanding. Like, it's insane. Like I said, Half-Life 2, I think that's a perfect example. You can pretty much run that like what, 8K 60 frames, probably 4K, you know, 120 or more frames easily. And I can't run that in 1440p, 90 Hz or 90 frames with Geometry 3D, and that's a game from 2007. Or is it 2003? Yeah, I think isn't it 2003? So, 17-year-old games, you can't run it with like Geometry 3D. That is like the best way. And this is a pretty high-end computer still with a 2080 and a 5600X. Yeah, hard to recommend the Warpex. Very, very difficult. Now, I do know that they have that easier, like 3D scopic kind of mode, which is like the C 3D or what they call it. So if you have like a 3D TV and you know you like watching 3D movies on it, then it might be better for you. I personally, you know, due to my eyesight I can't see that 3D, so it's just does nothing for me. So I can't evaluate that aspect, but if, you know, for you enjoy that and you can see that effect, then you will get a little bit higher value out of it. Secondly, like, yeah, I don't know. What more do we need to say? Yeah, a good thing could be that I wanted to try like a racing game, because those should have been, you know, pretty damn optimal for the Warpex. The problem is for it to be like, feel like a VR experience in a racing game, you need to find the racing games that support cockpit mode, you know, where you can see your wheel, you know, and you also need to, for the best experience, to like have like mouse look support, so you can get this experience. And I couldn't find any. I'm sure there are one out there, but I couldn't find. And I'm tried to get like games like that were supposed to running, but most of them are old and so finicky that I couldn't. It was too time consuming. First to get the games running, then to get them running at a proper resolution, then you need to tweak like the Warpex, and then the experience still will not be like even as, not according to what I see, like I wouldn't be able to get like this good of looking movement in from the cockpit view, and then it's like yeah, no. So firstly, the Warpex price is way too high for the amount of tweaking that you need to do, and the compatibility and the performance demand, and like change up your registration part and the anti-piracy. Like, seriously dude, it's not, you don't need it like that. It's just annoying with the hardware locking. And for the love of God, if you want to keep it like that, with the hardware locking and everything, do like a demo software. Make it like a special one that are hardware locked to like 30 minutes, or make it hardware locked to only work with like a few selected games, so people can see, you know, what they need to do beforehand, or offer like a 7-day refine period. Yeah, I cannot recommend this, but I am going to play more of Bioshock Infinite, since I have this software. And that game, I love that game really much, and as I said, it's a slower paced game, and the enemies are fairly big, and I'm running it on a very easy setting, and for just the atmosphere, and I can get reasonable performance even on very low settings, but it still is a very beautiful game looking. Without the geometric 3D, it is okay-ish still, so, but that is the only game. Like, it's so crazy, the ones I'm trying to get running and tried, and you know, like, if you are a huge Doom fan and like head aiming, that is definitely one I also can, you know, see you want to play. But for me, I want to have more high intensity, more precise aiming, so I can't really do that. You know, a lot of the things about Bioshock is the environment, and that's why I can play that, since it is a lower pace and more environment, and Doom I play more for the action, the quick movement, the crazy shooting and stuff like that. So, and the same is for this, you know. I can't play this because it would be so difficult with the head aiming to get a good experience out of it. So I think that is like, you know, what I can say about the Warpix. It's not bad, it's underwhelming is probably the more precise word, and so tedious getting everything going and working, and like even the games, like I said, that are on the list that is said to be, oh, supporting, very nice, everything is configured, you press Alt plus L and everything just works. And no, not really. Because most, especially for the GTO, firstly, you're probably going to have to need to learn how to do custom resolutions. Not super hard or anything, but it's a little bit of time consuming. And then, you know, you need to use Alt L, and then you need to go through the settings still to do some tweaks and hope that everything works through that. And it's just, yeah, not really hard to recommend it for anyone else than like a hardcore user that really knows that what they want. And you know, I can do a lot of stuff and tweaking. I've done a lot of it, but I just don't really feel that it gives so much back that I can recommend it. Like, it's so sad. It's like, it's one game for me that I really feel that I'm gonna have a blast playing through with the game, with Warpix and everything. And like, even at the setting that I'm running, I'm still in Bioshock. I get stuttering drops in FPS like here and there, and I can see it right now, like at these settings, like 70, 75 to 80 frames I get in this scene right here. It's playable, but it's like, it's so insane. There's no 3D effects whatsoever. You know, there are no C3D, no low 3D stereoscopic effect, you know, geometry 3D. It's a big flat screen here with some nice full immersive mouse looking with your head. And the game is in low settings, 1440p resolution. So yeah. So if you are in my channel, you know, and you are like, I want to see, you see my posting Warpix videos and you want more Warpix videos, I would not stay tuned for that. It's highly unlikely that there will be more Warpix videos. There will be Warpix video, not a video, but like a stream of Bioshock on Twitch. But that's gonna be it for me and my Warpix journey. Feel free, you know, to like give recommendations here, like, oh, this is like the game, Warpix true best game. And I know that some have mentioned Portal. Problem is that I just don't like that game. It's not my type of game. So that's, I would like, if I don't want to play it, you know, normally adding Warpix to it, like, it's just gonna make it maybe like barely tolerable for me to play. So, but yeah, feel free to leave suggestions, but don't stay tuned for more Warpix videos. It's been my least appreciated VR, you know, purchase so far due to the price. If it would have been like, you know, 15 bucks, sure, or getting Bioshock Infinite, maybe, you know, one more game, like, so sure, and not having it hardware locked, yeah, I could have seen it, but for like $45, no. And with the crazy amount of tweaking, and then like the hardware lock, so if I change my setup, I'm gonna need to remember to like unlock my Warpex from my computer and like stuff, and like no. And that is it for this video. So yeah, do not stay tuned for more Warpex. I cannot recommend it. It's not bad, it's just underwhelming, and it's super demanding. At least maybe it has like, maybe it's a combination of the G2 and its superb quality of the G2 that means that you want to play the games at in my opinion, you need to play the games at least 4040p to get like a reasonably good quality in the G2. Maybe that is part of the performance requirements. I don't know. But yeah, I wanted to, you know, do this, and I don't feel that I need to do like a separate Warpex talking. It could just do it within this video since it was very short about CSM 4. So there will be more VR content since I'm still loving my G2. I just don't love Warpex.